Now, YouTube. I am YouTube. And then you are live and go to Zoom.
No, before you go to Zoom, open up the PDF.
Okay.
And I'm checking YouTube right now to make sure your voice is coming through. Yes, it works.
Okay. Do you see it?
Yes, I do.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
No, you need to share. You need to share your screen on Zoom, and then we're good. And you need to unmute yourself on Zoom. Okay, now we see the text on Zoom. Now you too, okay?
So,
on Zoom, you need to unmute yourself.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. ربي أني مسني الضر وأنت أرحم الراحمين. اللهم إنك عفو وكريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا يا كريم. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وارنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وارنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين.
Brother Ali, you're not sharing screen?
Yep, I know. Something happened. Thank you. Yeah. Now, inshallah, I just wanted to recap third mystery. So,
Assalamualaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Good morning, everyone. So, from what I remember, last week we were discussing the second mystery, and which was an emphasis on how we are drawn to realize and remember divine unity. And we talked about how we see quality manifested in every single being that necessarily point to their source of existence. And I say so. I'm going to ask everyone who is. Good morning, everyone. Hi, good morning. Last week we were discussing the second mystery, and which was an. There's also one more person who's unmuted. Mehmet, can you also please mute yourself? Thank you. Okay, thanks. So we were talking again how we see qualities manifest in every single being in the universe that point to their source of existence, and how this is necessary because all such qualities, as we discussed, can only be brought into existence by the one who can create everything. And how everything then comes from the will of the creator of the universe, as they cannot function by themselves without an independent will, independent quality of knowledge and power. And along these lines, we talked about how, for example, the virus that we are facing with now also cannot have a will of its own, but is being created, given existence to, and some of us shared how this can be an opportunity for us to realize our own absolute neediness, impotence, dependency on the one whose will ordains everything, and how these feelings as well, how we are able to question how exactly it is that such feelings of fear or despondency exist in us, and that, you know, when I question the existence of anything, of something, that is when I am inevitably led back to the source. And so we can understand Bismillah or Bismillah in the name of God in such a framework as every single being coming into existence in the name of the creator of the universe. And that with the words of you know, the passage we read last week, this virus then is also reflecting the sun's light and heat. It is a reminder, a means of reflection for us, and it, as well as everything that comes into existence that we experience, is a way for us to be oriented back to the source of existence of everything. So that is my take on last week's discussion.
And roughly, what does the things are coming into existence in the name of God mean?
So it means that the qualities that they manifest necessarily point to a source of existence rather than pointing to themselves. They cannot act, they cannot display anything or showcase any quality within their own name, in that they cannot claim ownership to it, they cannot come about to existence independently. For things to come into existence in the name of God is for them to be a means of manifestation of the qualities of something that is not of the nature of this universe and must be the creator of everything else.
Simply, they cannot come into existence unless the one who gives existence to them wills it to exist. Very briefly, their very existence, and as you emphatically explained, that the qualities manifested in their existence also are coming from the will of the Creator. Right? So would you mind just reading from the third mystery where we left off last week?
Sure.
Please go ahead.
We didn't start the third mystery of the week. So again, we are reading from the first word, the second station of the 14th flash. This focus is on the meaning of Bismillah, in the name of God. And we are at the third mystery, which is page 5. And as you can all probably see on Zoom's screen right now. So third mystery. What makes this boundless universe rejoice is clearly divine mercy. What illuminates these dark beings is self-evidently divine mercy. What fosters and raises creatures struggling with their endless needs is self-evidently, again, divine mercy. What causes the whole universe to be turned towards man, towards the human, like a tree together with all its parts, is turned towards its root, and causes it to look to him and run to his assistance, is clearly divine mercy. What fills and illuminates boundless space and the empty, vacant world and makes it rejoice is self-evidently divine mercy. And what designates ephemeral man for eternity and makes him the addressee and beloved of the pre-eternal and post-eternal one is self-evidently divine mercy.
Yeah. Your first takeaway from the text you read?
Sure. Well, I mean, there is a very strong emphasis and underlining of the notion of divine mercy and how divine mercy encapsulates almost all aspects of this universe, and that it is both a fruit and a driving foresight, I guess you can say, quality of how and why things come into existence. It's what makes this boundless universe rejoice is clearly divine mercy. I find that looks to an absolute source, and that in everything that I experience as a human being and all the qualities that I have and in how I interact with all parts of the universe, all of this is also pointing me towards, signaling me towards the quality of mercy again that looks to an absolute one. And so that there is absolute mercy in everything that I experience if I can look for it and reflect upon it. And especially, I guess, in the last sentence, the fact that my existence, I don't feel secure in it, in that I know that I will die, even though I have all of these human faculties and qualities that definitely do not want to end. Whether it's my youth or my whatever I perceive as intellect or anything, I want them to always function and always manifest themselves in this perfect sense. They look towards eternity. And here it's saying that what makes me, what designates me for this eternity, and makes me one that can communicate with the source of existence. Because in all my experiences, in all my interactions, I am constantly given opportunities to conclude upon the necessary existence of an absolute one and be able to communicate my conclusions to him. And that this means of communication, being an addressee, if in a sense a conversation partner, if you will, is also due to the quality of mercy. That is my take, but I'm interested in your thoughts and everyone else's.
Seven 761488876. Okay. Well, I'm busy with something. I'm trying to do that. Sorry.
No. So, while I think Brotherly tries to navigate through some technical difficulties, would anyone else like to share their takeaways from this first paragraph about divine mercy?
Excuse me, Hatice. You
carry on. Continue. If you'd like to, even if it's just a reflection or whatever thought it inspired, please feel free to raise your hand. I would be very happy, as with everyone else, to hear some other thoughts besides my own.
Okay. Anybody else wants? Alaikum salam.
Assalamualaikum, Nur, Banu, and after Banu, Farah, please go ahead.
The whole universe turned towards man like a tree, together with all its parts, is turned towards its fruit. So, as man as fruit and the universe as tree, it is a very interesting relation that is highlighted. I want to kind of learn more about that. And then in the next sentence, he says, what fills and illuminates boundless space and the empty, vacant world and makes it rejoice is self-evidently divine mercy. Self-evidently is a pretty strong claim. So I also want to learn why it's so self-evident.
Thank you, Nurvanu, and hopefully we can discuss that more in detail. Farah, you had your hand up. Would you like to share your thoughts?
Yes, Assalamu alaikum. First off, I think I want to say it's good to be back engaging with everybody. So, few thoughts that come to mind from this first paragraph. Primarily, sort of looking at these examples, I can't help but think, I think there's one mic, Alif. Yes, thank you. I can't help but think about this connection that is evident in this paragraph, but also in previous discussions from the same author and in this group. That it appears from these examples that the very act of something coming into existence from not having existed before, that very act is also named divine mercy. So if something exists, it is an act of mercy that it exists. And if something exists, it's not self-sustaining. We understand that from the nature of all things that exist within the limits of this. It is created as that. And so with its createdness as a needy thing, the fact that it is also complemented with creating the counter of it. For example, hunger is something that we are created with. Food is something that we also find created with an act of divine mercy. Hence, I'm sort of seem to want to conclude that any act of existence is divine mercy. So one point that I was going to take from Nurbanu's question about man being the fruit and the universe being a tree, it appears from this that man is the ultimate act of divine mercy, meaning that in man, basically this universe was created for man, for a human being, to realize the mercy that is his existence and everything that surrounds him. So a tree, whole point of the tree, from the point of a seed to blooming through all the years, is to produce a fruit. So ultimately its goal is to produce the fruit. And I guess the ultimate purpose of the universe is for man to realize that it is created for him, so that he connects his existence to the existence of everything around him, and his existence corresponds to an act of mercy, and so does the universe in which he is created in. So probably a concluding point on this particular part about man being the fruit is the existence of humanity is the ultimate act of divine mercy, and it is in man's sort of purpose to realize this particular fact. That's it.
Thank you for that really beautiful reflection and thoughtful reflection. Yeah, so, from these two comments, so Nurbanu had emphasized on how we can make sense of the analogy that this paragraph offers, which is that of a universe being like a tree in which the human being is its fruit. And Farah, I think you shared your thoughts on that inquiry, in that we have to look at what a tree is in terms of what its ultimate goal is, and that is, from, as you said, from the seed to the blooming to and so as Farah said, that the ultimate purpose of the universe can be for the universe, for the human being to realize that it's created for him. And what that means, I guess, I mean, there's, it seems, I don't want to use the word loosely, but crazy, like so immensely, it's a notion of such magnitude to think that this entirety of the universe, if it's like a tree, and that I, because, you know, when I say man or human, sometimes it seems a little bit distance from me, but in essence, it's talking about me. It's saying that the entirety of the universe is made so that I can be its fruit. And so how do I actualize, how do I realize this notion of being the fruit of the universe in a sense? How do I make use of the qualities that I have? How do I connect myself to the existence of everything else? And how do I ultimately connect myself to the source of existence of all that is here? Nurani, you also brought to attention the word self-evidently, which the author uses a few times in this paragraph, which as it was also drawn to my attention. You know, it's a very strong word, self-evidently. And I guess, you know, in conjunction with the last mystery that we were talking about, the second mystery, makes me think of the rays of the sun and how they are so evidently displayed on everything that gathers light, right? I almost don't have to think about it, because when I see something, I know that the sunlight is hitting it because I am able to see it. And so how can I come to see divine mercy in the same way? Is it as self-evident, one can ask? And, you know, bringing into line what Farah was saying, you know, you were saying that the existence of humanity is the ultimate act of divine mercy. And that, yes, I see that I have multiple needs, multiple dependencies, multiple insecurities, multiple impotent aspects to myself, and that every time I find such a need, there is always a sort of remedy to it. So again, with the example that Farah gave, not only do I see and experience the existence, the creation of hunger in me, but I also experience and see the creation of food, something to meet that need. And you know, in all aspects of my life, I think I can say that wherever there is a need, I see its counterpart, I see its fulfillment, if you will. And I think this is also why I want to draw us back to attention to the last sentence. You know, this most perhaps fundamental need, then, my need for eternity. If all of my other needs are being fulfilled, how can that not be fulfilled as well? And you know, just one more thing that I want to share before I'll mute myself is, for example, it's raining very, very strongly and heavily right now where I am, and there was just this very loud thunder and lightning, and you know, I was wondering if someone turned the lights on where I am, but it was just this sort of powerful rumbling and powerful flash of light, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, I definitely experienced some qualities here, as qualities of power, qualities of sort of this immense magnitude, and you know, I don't even know which words to use, but power is definitely something that comes to mind. And how can I experience in a self-evident fashion divine mercy, I guess, in this sort of thunder and lightning and rainstorm? And maybe we can use that as an example to further discussion. But before I mute myself, also, Omar IVT had a comment in the chat box. Would you like to read it? I mean, there's no reason for me to read it if you are comfortable with doing so. If not, that's not a problem. Let me just read it. Umar says, the fruit also does not exist in and of itself for itself. So does man experience a mercy that he is forced to reciprocate in some regard to continue to provide, in the way that within the seeds carried by the fruits, long after the fruit has been eaten, which is of another conversation, may be allowed to facilitate further mercies. I think all of this is self-evident. If you'd like to elaborate or talk further on this, please feel free to. Yes, go ahead. Your mic is unmuted, but we can't hear you if you are speaking.
Assalamualaikum.
There you go.
Just going off of because I think the word self-evident is very charged, but it's definitely worth it to go ahead and explore that. Given the context, because I think that definitely, as the way that we perceive a tree, right? The tree, one of its functions, one of its clear functions is actually to perform, like to produce a fruit. It's like very beautiful, even just to stare at. Oftentimes the fruit is like unreachable. I remember like just driving in the Dominican Republic, and there was like an avocado that like wallahi, like only an animal that could reach there would be able to get it, because otherwise you'd have to put like a ladder in the center of the road where cars would pass it. So, but oftentimes, like being that fruit, if we're to be considered that fruit, right? Like the fruit just doesn't exist, otherwise then it would rot, right? If there were no further purpose to that, right? But then the fruit is given a responsibility, to understand that, like, okay, and you're supposed to do something with this that you have. What are the qualities of the fruit? Many times it's healing. Many times it's just sweetness. It's an elixir. Sometimes it can be refreshment. Whatever the case may be, these are in abundance, and that in itself is a mercy. That what did the fruit do before this? Where was the fruit at? Right, the fruit was been produced. Okay, and now here you are with all of this, right? And then the fruit itself may have like a particular purpose, which is I was discussing that it's of quality, is of different offshoots. It's gonna go, and what was it? Obviously the seeds itself, they're gonna reproduce. Inshallah, they're gonna be of a different path, if you will. And then also these, what I'm trying to get at is the fruit in itself didn't do anything for itself. Everything, as you were saying, that led up to the fruit, all the years, the seeds, the pollination, and everything. Here is the fruit finally, and then the fruit is then in charge with, okay, it's your opportunity to reciprocate this mercy. If it doesn't ever get the opportunity, then it's just gonna rot in the teeth and give nothing, right? But then you're forced to repay. I don't know if this could be considered like fair, what you guys think, but even like a debt, and by what are you gonna do now? Are you gonna make yourself easy to eat and to spread around this which you've been given, or are you just going to be rotten per se? And I think that as if man is going to be the fruit, if we're going to be like a particular fruit, then we can't just like be for ourselves and by ourselves. We have to kind of like follow this particular trait that the Creator has given us a mercy, has bestowed mercy upon us to be created, and so now we have to actually do the same. And now separating ourselves, because I'm not an apple, but an apple does do these things. And I, as a separate, I have my own agency to some extent too. Let's say I want to be like a nice guy, or I want to be not a nice guy. Apple has the same agency or no? I don't know. But yeah, that was just my my 2 cents when it talks about like self-evident. I think that excuse me. I think that that's like kind of where my train of thought was.
Thank you, Omar, for that wonderful. And I welcome everyone else to share their reflections like this. Nirvana, you had raised your hand at one point. Would you still like to speak?
Yeah, I just had a quick thought. I think the self-evidently divine mercy is, I think this goes to existence. Existence is a sort of like merely existing or giving existence is mercy. And that's like an interesting point, right? Because it, the universe rejoice, fills the universe, meets men's needs, all of that it doesn't say divine power or anything else. It's mercy. So it's like a interesting, more loaded attribute, I guess, of the divine. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if I've really like internalized that like mere creation or giving existence is mercy, but I'd like to hear what people have to say.
Thank you. And yeah, I think for me as well, it's really interesting that it's not like divine power or divine knowledge or divine, you know, it's mercy, which is this wonderful, beautiful quality. Before I go further, Afshan, I hope I'm not correctly saying your name. You had a comment. Would you like to read it and share it with us?
I wrote, isn't self-evident simply a belief based on human reason and conviction? Any idea that you truly believe in must be self-evident. This is opposed to religion based on cultural conditioning. So I basically saw the word self-evident as basically our process that we're using in this class, our method, so to speak, that you only receive receive divine mercy or become aware of divine mercy when it has to be self-evident. You understood it, and so you like divine mercy appears. You suddenly have access to it. So I just saw it as the term self-evident as the process that we've been using all along. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely makes sense to me. At the end of the day, I have my individual worldview, and my thoughts, my perceptions, my beliefs all form that worldview. So as you were saying, when I'm able to conclude on its necessity, the self-evidency of something becomes something that is particular to me, but that does not negate its self-evidency nevertheless. And it becomes a means for me to, but I just want to say I agree. And H-Beza, please.
Assalamualaikum. Thanks for all the comments so far. I've been just thinking about what everyone has been saying and kind of wanted to take a couple steps back as well. The last sentence of the paragraph we read today, and actually not the last one, but I guess connecting it all together, I was thinking about like the points that two of our or multiple friends have brought up today regarding this, understanding existence as I guess first and foremost as it being willed, as there being a conscious will behind it, meaning that it's being preferred to exist in this particular way as opposed to not exist. And connecting this to kind of, I guess, this sense of mercy this paragraph keeps like kind of rotating around or emphasizing on. And I guess like I was thinking about how as I experience existence, like what puts me in a contradictory place is the sense of experiencing existence, but also the sense of loss within that experience as I constantly come to the end of experience. So like I find myself aging. I find that you know, a nice moment is fleeting. I find that, you know, my niece is growing up and she's losing a sense of cuteness there, which is being replaced by something else. Or I might have ice cream and I eat that ice cream and now it's gone. So there's this constant contrast of this as I experience like the realness of the existence with myself in it, there's this constant sense of transience that I'm also experiencing. But I guess the way I'm approaching the text right now is that within this contrast is that as I experience the transience of certain qualities within things, so I long for example, the permanence of a state of happiness, or I long for you know, to be healthy forever or to be young, for example, as I experience them being replaced by something else, in that act of replacement is looking to the same source of existence as the state that I was in before. Furthermore, I'm sorry, my thoughts are a little scattered, but I'm trying to wrap it up. Furthermore, by concluding for myself the necessary existence of the source of existence of something, right? By virtue of finding it existing, and concluding that this source must be an absolute source of existence, thereby it soothes or it looks to that need of permanence that I find within myself to make experiences meaningful for me as I experience existence. I'm going to just think about it a little bit more. Not that great at thinking out loud, but hopefully that made some sense.
Thank you, H. Beza. You know, at least one aspect that I can take from that is that all my experiences look to the need for permanence, and not just any sort of permanence, but this sort of perfect sense of permanence. A perfect sense of permanence that completely and absolutely aligns with my expectations. Farah, you had your hand up. Please go ahead.
Yes. So I'm going to take a few points that everybody mentioned, but primarily, I heard that Noor mentioned the need for perhaps further explanation or understanding of what I may have meant, or what the author perhaps here means or implies, that the very act of existence is mercy. I think, first of all, one reason to think about the quality of mercy, of divine mercy, as this comprehensive, as this fundamental sort of experience, is very simply for me, also coming from the fact that in the statement that we're studying, Bismillah, right after we confirm that there is a single absolute source of existence, the first quality or the first description that we get to know it by, okay, we conclude there is a source of existence, it must be absolute, it must be, eternal. The first introduction to this source is mercy or Rahman. So I'm compelled to want to make the argument that it has to be something as comprehensive, as sort of complete and absolute as existence itself. So that's one point why if something exists, it's an act of mercy. Why I'm connecting these 2 points together. The second thing that comes to mind is something that we've always discussed in this class, that first of all, from our experience, from our observation, from our personal experiences, we see one thing, we observe one thing, that everything, that I have no experience of anything other than mercy. For example, I'm created as a human being that's primarily in need of breathing. And I have the ability to breathe, a mechanism in my body, oxygen in the air, a flow of air in and out of my body, allowing me to breathe. I am hungry, I have food. I'm thirsty, I have water. So, very physical, very sort of something that we also observe in animals and plants, everything. I think I've heard it in this class being said that, we don't really observe animals dying hungry. They are, everything that has come into existence has come, as the word, taking the word from here, self-evidently, with everything that needs its existence. So that's an observation, and I do welcome, for the sake of argument, sort of someone saying that no, that is not an experience, that I don't see, my needs being fulfilled, or I see something imperfect about my being or the life around me. So when we establish that the only thing that we observe and experience is a fulfillment of our needs, let's take a breath as the most simplest example. That is my only experience, the fact that I can breathe, the fact that I need to breathe, and the fact that I can breathe. And because I do not have any experience of non-existence, I cannot confirm anything other than mercy, or other than the fact that I need to breathe and I breathe. I don't have an experience in which I needed to breathe and there wasn't air. I don't have an experience where I needed, let's say, food. I'm giving very physical examples, but obviously these translate or point to existential questions and needs also. So because I don't have any other experience, therefore, I am forced to conclude that my only experience that I can confirm is that of mercy. And hence, within my existence, I only observe and can confirm mercy. So that's a main point. And then the second point that I believe H. Beza was also mentioning was the experience of needing eternity. One second. Yeah, because we also do not experience or have a desire to, let's say, end our life, but rather we have a desire to live. The fact that we desire to exist means that something fulfilled this desire, and that thing is if it's if it is, as we concluded, self-sustaining, then that cause to create us or create anything, it's not subject to any need. So the very act of creation or existence is one of will, one of mercy for us. So I hope there were some points that were clear, but I welcome all sorts of counter arguments. Thanks.
Thank you, Farah. Your comments made me think that, as you were saying, I am indulged in mercy, right? I am completely overwhelmed with mercy because there is no experience in my life that has not been touched by mercy, by virtue of the fact that I have never experienced non-existence, right? By virtue of the fact that I have never experienced non-existence, right? I'm gonna get to you, inshallah. But I was just saying, but because as Farah said, I have no experience of non-existence. It doesn't even logically make sense that I can experience non-existence. There wouldn't be any experience to be had. There is no sense in which my life has not been touched by mercy, which makes it such that I may not always be aware of how embedded it is my experience, which sometimes might make it difficult for me to realize how exactly I am indulged in mercy. So thank you for those comments. We have a lot of different comments and hands going up. Before I get to them, there was a comment on YouTube that I also wanted to take into account since we have listeners there as well. And Rayaz Khan was saying, Samal, seeing existence itself as a mercy from the Creator is a wonderful basis for a thorough realization of gratitude, but too often I overlook this to my own detriment. This makes me wonder, is desensitization in our nature? Are we designed such that we're supposed to struggle to feel the Creator's mercy in all things? I think here, at least for me, just a short answer, and others can respond as well, is that here comes the faculty of choice, right? Free will. I always have various different opportunities in front of me to see and reflect upon and confirm mercy. But it is also up to me on how I train myself, how I cultivate my consciousness, and how that cultivated consciousness can bring me access into the true manifestation and qualities that are offered to me. So I think that if I cultivate my consciousness, try to come to a state, or even such classes, inshallah, where our aim is to try and be more cognizant, then I can also try to make myself more aware of the various ways in which that mercy is made known to me. So also, okay, so let's do this. Tolu, you had your hand up. You can perhaps read your comments in the chat box as well. And then afterwards, if H. Sozan would like to speak, he can speak. And then afterwards, we can have Noor Shimshek, inshallah. Thank you.
Hey, salams. Can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I have two comments. So I'll start with the first one. The first one was I was when H. Beza was talking about the this sense of like loss that comes with existence. So for instance, I want to stay young, but I'm getting older. I eat something nice, but then I finish eating it. That's something that I struggle with as well. So I have something that I'm enjoying, but then it finishes, and then there's this like sense of impending an impending ending that's coming at some point. And so that's like that that part I really resonated with, and I don't have an answer to. Okay, now that I know that this is ending, how do I come to grips with that? I don't. So that's something that I struggle with. And the second thing I wanted to say was that with regards to Farah's comment, with regards to I don't have any experience of not getting. Sure, I want to breathe and I'm breathing, but there's a lot of other things that I want that I'm not getting. So, for instance, I don't want to age, but I'm aging. So I didn't quite understand that point that Farah made. So I'll just stop there. Thank you.
Okay. Before we go to Nurshim Sheikh, and then perhaps if Farah wants to respond, or if anyone else wants to respond to Tolu, H. Suzanne, would you like to read your comment in the chat box?
Yeah, okay. Assalamu alaikum. I was thinking about how come the divine mercy is self-evident, and what I find evident, perhaps, is a sense of harmony and oneness within the universe, in the style that they work together. So, and I can confirm in my life that the universe really, through a collective act, assists me and assists my life. But also, communicating with and getting into relationship with particles and components of the universe, I also understand that they don't know me and they didn't come up with this order. So their work in harmony points out to one authority in my eyes, and this is how I understand a divine.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And I just want to take the time to also thank everyone for being such an interactive crowd. This is really, really beneficial for me. Noshim Sheikh, please go ahead, and then we can maybe go back to Tolu's question as well.
Okay. Yeah. So. Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for giving your own perspectives. So, one thing that I don't really understand, and this I think this goes back to Farah's point, is that I think she said, and I might have gotten it wrong, but in what we're studying, the phrase Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, the first thing that comes is Rahman, right? So this divine mercy concept, and you said that it must be comprehensive, and you associate that with existence. So this, I think it's nice, but it seems a little bit circular to me. It seems, at least, like I should first experience that sort of mercy before I can say, oh, this is why my creator's like most prominent feature or attribute is mercy. Because it could have been like Khalik, right? Or Qadir, which we have said, like could have been the creator or the powerful one, whatever it is. And then I thought, okay, maybe it's that like when I make anything, right? When it's not like I can bring something into existence, but when I make stuff in my life or when I interact with things, I have this sort of like loving and caring relationship with it. And that's how I would know that like mere existence should be connected with mercy, because mercy is like a very emotive thing. And I feel like I just don't have the intuition to say just giving something existence is an act of mercy. And I think H. Suzanne brought out an interesting point too, in that like you see this harmony, this order, but I don't necessarily think that we need, like I don't associate that with mercy, you know, at first impression. So it's interesting to see like other people's intuitions too. And then one last thing, so are we designed to forget this kind of mercy? And it reminded me of the second mystery, which we were looking at last week, where we looked at the phrase, lest the son be forgotten. So I think that's kind of like, it's something we have to watch out for. I don't know if I would say we're designed or created to forget, but not forgetting does require conscious effort, which I think was Aisha's kind of immediate response to that. That's all for now.
What am I doing?
Thank you, Nur Shimshik, for that comment. Is there anyone that would like to respond to that, as well as we can bring back Tolu's question as well, who was saying that in terms of experience, it does not always seem like the case that I always receive that which I want or need. For example, or things may happen to me that I don't necessarily want, like aging. And I'll just raise one more question before anyone else chimes in, which is Reyes Khan says, thank you for addressing my question. A follow-up, I agree that choice plays a central role in cultivating connection and gratitude, and that's the thing that raises the question. Rather than being endowed with unwavering remembrance, we have thank you for being a very active participant. And let me mute myself to give others who have not spoken an opportunity to do so, including the host, if you would like to do so.
Let me see. Excuse me.
Remember, you unmuted yourself and then muted yourself again.
Yeah.
Would you like?
No, I'm confused with different machines using it same time as a host. Next time, I prefer not to be the host. Okay. In order to understand what we have been studying about the subject, the third mystery is about the second step in Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, which is first, everything comes into existence in the name of God. That is, we had been studying until today, and starting from today, we have been studying Ar-Rahman, description of God, the creator, the absolute being, whatever you call it, the source of existence. So we understand that our existence belongs to him. But now it is time to understand that our existence is the result of mercy. Of course, there are many questions concerning this because we may not take into consideration what is the purpose of existing within the conditions of this universe for human beings. The purpose of existence of the rest of the universe, as far as I am concerned, I have to look at them from my perspective, using my own lenses. Because I experience within myself again that I am a conscious being, I am aware of my existence and the existence of the world, and this consciousness urges me, motivates me to ask the purpose in my existence. Therefore, I would say, what is the purpose of the existence of the other things, so that I will evaluate the purpose of the existence of the other things through my own perspective, because I am the one who is thinking, reflecting, questioning, and looking for an answer, because I have been made in this way. I cannot get out of my skin. I cannot deny my reality. So, what is the purpose of my existence? Of course, first of all, when I look at the world, I see that it is meaningful. Everything is meaningful. But I can grasp the meaning. Me be consistent within my own self. Let me see, is the universe, has the universe anything to do with my existence? As the text says, everything, as far as I think this phrase should not be forgotten. As far as the existence of my existence is concerned, I see that I can benefit with the rest of the universe around me. I see that they are conveying message to me, although I mostly concentrate on my relationship with the universe, as has been discussed here. My bodily benefits that I am receiving from the universe, that is correct. I cannot deny, and I need it. That's correct. But as far as my human side is concerned, what do I get from the rest of the universe? And a lot of meaning. Nothing, as far as I can see, exists without any meaning that I can decipher if I concentrate on them, try to see. Yes, at the material, physical level interaction, I see the universe is providing me the sound which I need for my bodily existence. Yeah, providing the atmosphere that is mentioned in this room today for my gain, but a continuation of my bodily existence. That's it. I have something to do with this universe because everything starts with thinking, reflecting on material interaction. But human intelligence and human inquiry goes on saying that, okay, as again stated during the discussions by several friends, okay, it is good, but something is strange going on in this universe. What is that? Yes, the things are employed, I can see, in my service to serve me, but one side of me which looks to the meaning of the universe and tries to extract the meaning from the existence of the things around me that I can reach out. But these meanings seem to be so much more consistent than the material relationship that I have with the world, because with the physical side of the world. Physical side of the world, as it is stated again previously today, helps me to grow, helps me to develop, helps me to survive, etc., and try to enjoy physical aspect of this universe. They are all helpful, that's correct. But at the end, I age and I die. I age and I die. Excuse me, do you see me better now? Somebody can help me? There was a complaint that my voice was breaking. Now? Okay, thank you very much. So, the material relationship is inevitably, and at the end of the day, deteriorates, wades away, weathers away. It is strange. But at the same time, the meaning side of it, which addresses to my human side, not my body side, my, for example, as a food for my thought, something to be considered on, and also relationship with the feelings that I have with the meaning I get. What is the meaning I gather from the universe is, they say, look, although I am a transient being, myself, for example, I am looking at a being here around, I see, I mean, not human made, so make it easier to follow. I see a pine tree here in front of my house. So a pine tree, okay. Pine tree says, I am dependent. Yeah, I cannot exist by myself. Yeah, I'm giving life, correct, but I'm going to die. Oh, like my body. But when I look at the pine tree, the same qualities are manifesting themselves in innumerable number of other creatures as well. So when I think about the message I get from the existence of the tree, pine tree, it says our source is ever present in every place at any time. Although I change, but the qualities of my source of existence never change. Okay? So my human side says, did you get the meaning? I question to myself, yeah. Do you know that the same thing applies to yourself? It must be. I'm like a tree, growing and dying, aging and dying. So think about the source and connect your feelings to the source. You see that the source is introducing himself to you, letting you know the qualities of the source of your existence, so that establish a relationship with that. Rather than ephemeral things, at the end of your life here, you will leave the physical side of your existence as well. But you understood that the source of your existence has infinite qualities, not finite. They are infinite. Trust these qualities and connect your human side to the qualities of the source of your existence. If I could do that, what I would like to come back to the text, and it brings me to the last sentence of the first paragraph that we are discussing today, under discussion now. It says, I'm reading out as I marked here, I think you can see on the screen as well, what screen on Zoom program, of course, what designates ephemeral man for eternity and makes him designates ephemeral man. I can put it on myself. What designates me for eternity? Why? I need eternity. I love existing. Existence is something to be loved. It must be given to me as in the form of mercy. Given to me. I didn't do anything for it. I exist. And I found myself existing. I found my qualities, human qualities, also existing, feelings, my soul, my consciousness, my mind, my memory, they all exist. Feelings and my need all exist. But the most essential need is for eternal existence. But my body doesn't have this opportunity. It is not given this opportunity. But my human side doesn't die, doesn't get old, doesn't age. I always want to exist, even to the last minute in my life, last breath. I want to have another breath in this world. So I am created for eternity. At this stage, without going further into the sentence, which is really beautiful, and we will all appreciate it, in this sense, my expectation of eternity shows me that not only I am transient, I am ephemeral, everything is transient, continuously changing and aging. And the living ones are dying, the others also dying even in their physical existence. That's what we know now, that even stars die. The things get old and stars die. It is just a matter of time. Otherwise, by their own nature, the way they are created, they are not eternal. I think we know it now. And we experience it. And people demonstrate that the stars are dying, the experts on the subject as well. So this side, put this side aside. It doesn't mean that you kill yourself, but put this side aside. While you are giving existence within this form, question why do you think, do I think, whoever gave me existence in this world, in this type of existence, in this type of creation. Why? What the reason may be? Now, at this stage, I understand that there is something going on interesting. For example, if there is a place where I am asked to go and get into the place, room, I'm giving the example of a school, and I sit there, I say, why did they put me here? Or why did I come here? And I wait, and there's somebody coming up and start teaching. And I understand the teaching. It's so strange. I understand the teaching. And if I pay attention to it, I learn. I learn what it is taught there. I say, yes, but I'm learning something, but for what? What am I going to do with it? So as I learn, I understand that I discover what is hidden within my own existence. What's hidden there? Excuse me. I wanted to see what is told in the chat box. It says, the existence giver would give me existence only to take it away. Look, still, I couldn't express myself. I understand Talu's question. My body goes away. My feelings look for eternity. My body looks for death. My feelings look for eternity. We are not bodies. We are not bodies. Please we should define ourselves properly. I cannot define myself as my body because my body is aging and fading away, losing its physical abilities. But my physical side, although my eyes are losing now without the help of the glasses, I cannot see. My eyes are fading away, but my desire, my feeling for the seeing, in order to be able to see, this feeling wants to see is permanently there. That is, so when I pay attention to this aspect of my being, I'm being taught something. When I teach, when I learn what is taught in the class of the universe, what I am learning from this universe makes me help discover myself better and understand better what is my reality. Not in physical terms. What is my reality? And what am I going to do with the knowledge, information I gather during my life experience within this universe? What am I going to do with it? I must make sense of it. My body will die, most probably, not probably means here, definitely it must be. Definitely it must be that I am prepared for another type of life than being in a class, being in a school. When I learn something from the school, after graduating, I start practicing it. They call it in life. But after my graduation of my body from this universe, this type of existence, what am I going to do with the things that I learn from the meanings of the universe? What am I going to do with them? Do you think they are going to go into the grave with me? But they are looking for eternity, although my body knows it cannot look for an eternity, but it wades away. It withers away. But my feelings don't. I have to see this contradiction. It's beautiful. It's a very meaningful teaching. I understand that I am here to be prepared for another world. This realization, which is enabled by the existence of this universe, which I am taught by the existence of this universe, this realization for my personal experience is the most vivid, valuable, worth everything mercy. I am here to be educated, to get to know the qualities of the source of my existence, feelings of my existence, my human abilities in my existence. I am prepared. So the sentence reads very interesting. Human side of me looks for eternity, and I understand that the one who created this universe and created me within the universe, as all the universe bringing and conveying the messages in their existence to make me the addressee of this merciful one. Addressee means, in fact, the creator who manifests his qualities, attributes, they call it, qualities. He demonstrates these qualities to me and making me able to understand these qualities and learn them is, in fact, not the universe is speaking to me. My creator is speaking to me, and I am his student here. How precious a status is for a human being. The creator of the universe is speaking, addressing him, and teaching him who he is as the source of my existence. I'm special for him because I have my own capacity. So interesting. I speak to him. I say, look, I look at myself. I look at the others. I understand that you are able to create this universe and continues to change it with no difficulty. It means you can do everything. That is called, in the religious language, the source of existence, who is called God, is all-powerful. Must have endless power. And we know that he knows what he's doing. He freely, absolutely freely chooses what he's going to do. Endless freedom. And there is a purpose to educate me, not to let me feel lonely in this world. He is speaking to me. He is teaching me. Not that the universe is teaching me. Somebody's mic is open. Okay, I think closed. So he is addressing me. He is teaching me. How amazing it is. And further, he says, addressee and blood of the pre-eternal, per-eternal. It means absolute, infinite one is nothing but self-evident. That means, to me, it became evident that this is the divine mercy. He speaks to me. He educates me. He is my teacher. So, and I am his beloved because everything is created as a servant to my needs to understand who I am, what they are, and what the source of existence of every one of us in this world. So I am being prepared to practice what I learned here after my graduation from the school of this universe. So as far as I am concerned, personally, not all human beings, everybody can say this for himself, herself, but as far as I am concerned, I know that the universe is a school for me. I know that what is taught, what is transferred, conveyed through the existence of the universe, all the meanings, is for me to gather, to collect, to learn from. So I am his beloved one. He loves me. Otherwise, why should he bother to teach me, whoever is creating me? Why should he bother? Why should he bother? I mean, I'm not saying God is all powerful, or God doesn't need. No, we don't use this kind of language here. We only look at from our perspective and speak about our conclusion. So our conclusion is this: if I exist in this world, I understand that the creator of the universe, therefore, is the creator of myself, is speaking to me, educating me, getting me ready for another type of life. So I'm going out of this body and I cannot sustain my existence within this universe anymore. So I must be chosen. I must be chosen by myself, this chosen one. You can decide for yourself if you see why you are a chosen one. Do you see that your creator is speaking to you, teaching you? Do you see that in this process of teaching, you understand that your creator is always with you? He never leaves you alone. He always conveys his message to you. Do you see? And you understand that you are the blood of the creator. Otherwise, just saying that we are, they don't say I, they say we. It's certain people. We are the chosen people. We are the children of God. Excuse me, I understand that children of God is used in a symbolic sense. Everybody is a child of God. Beloved creator takes care of us, and in this way he demonstrates his absolute mercy. If I define myself in terms of my humanity, I can see the eternity in my life. I can experience the eternity while I am here in my life, in my understanding. I feel totally engaged with my creator, and I feel that he is always busy with me, engaged with me. He always teaches me, and I am his beloved creature. Now, not to be misunderstood, I'm not saying child, but creature, because it denotes something else. So I am his beloved teacher. I am very thankful to him, and I just thank him more than what I realized now. It is an absolute being. That's it, what I can say only. My owner, my teacher, my creator is an absolute being. I belong to him. My body belongs to this world, created here just to carry me within the conditions of this universe. I am hoping there will be another body, and he also promises there will be another body which will carry me after my graduation from this universe. That understanding solves all my problems. I understand what's happening now. I don't like the things happening. Everybody talks about this virus now. I understand that must be a way of teaching who I am, how much I can sustain my existence by myself, how much I cannot do anything. Admit and submit myself to my creator. I belong to you. You gave me existence, and after graduation, I will return my existence to you. I am conscious of it. That understanding makes mercy apparent, self-evident for me. I don't know about you. Thank you very much.
So it is 1 p.m. Thank you for those wonderful thoughts, Ali Mermer.
they really solidified, I think, the questions that were raised in my head during this discussion, and I'm grateful to everyone else's very interactive comments and thoughts. I think that really makes for a much more lively discussion when everyone pitches in. So, jazakallah khair. And if there are no objections, we can continue next week, inshallah. So.
Alaikum salam. Alaikum salam, everyone.
Alina?
So, assalamu alaikum. Inshallah, see you next Monday. Yeah. Stop share and end meeting. So go back to